Okay, so I've been working on how to curb nudge with my Onewheel GT now for a good while. It was the first trick that I tried to learn, never got to it, and then I ordered my XL, started getting really back into riding my Onewheel, and it was one of the first things I wanted to learn how to do yet again. So I've been working on it now for about 3 weeks, I want to say. And I've seen a lot of different tutorials on YouTube. So I just wanted to kind of give what I thought was good out of those tutorials and say what helped me for anyone that is still struggling and wants to learn how to do it. So one of the tutorials that I saw had a guy where he was essentially just teaching you board off. The board's completely powered off, and with the back end down, you need to sit there and consistently put the nose forward, not so that it hits the ground, but moving your hips so that the board itself moves forward, but the nose never touches the ground. The purpose of that is to get you into the habit of using your hips to propel the board forward, because you're going to need that as soon as the tire lines up with the curb. Pushing into those hips right there is kind of what helps it get over the edge right there. So that was one thing that I saw in a tutorial that was extremely helpful. I did that for a good while. Almost every time that I sat down to do a session where I was working on my curb nudges, that one helped out a lot. So thank you to the creator who made that video. Another thing that helped me: forget about jumping. Don't, you're not jumping. Don't think about jumping. Don't even think about de-weighting, really. You'll learn how to de-weight once you feel it. I don't know how to explain that feeling, but I can say that it comes naturally. So don't worry about jumping. Don't worry about de-weighting when you're first starting off. I feel that that kind of comes naturally when you start to work on it. I noticed that when I stalled out on the curb, the wheel was moving, and this was the first one that I landed, and I was just mad because I still hadn't got one, and so I just threw my hips forward. I didn't jump, I didn't de-weight at all, and the board actually lifted me, and I landed the first curb nudge. So that after I landed the first one, that's when things kind of started to click for me. And that brings me to the next one: do not go too fast. If you are finding yourself being thrown forward, you're going way too fast. You almost want to be at a stop. It's minimal amount of speed so that when you approach that curb, you want just enough speed so that the nose goes up over and you hit that nice little corner in between the tire and the board itself. And it's that point that you want to press forward. Once you press forward and push those hips forward, you're propelling the wheel into the side of the curb, not on top, and you're not trying to get it to bump. So by propelling it into the side, the wheel is going to compress just a little bit, and then it's going to do what it naturally does, considering your front foot is already should be powered forward. You should be trying to push down on it, or as I saw in another tutorial, squish the bug, however you want to word it. And then the tire is going to climb over that curb. Another thing is practice. At the end of the day, you just have to get out there, practice, practice, practice. I kept going every day, over and over and over and over, until eventually I found it, tell myself what I was doing wrong. Initially, it was way too much speed. Now, I wasn't hitting it going super fast or anything, but I was hitting it at what I felt was an appropriate speed to be approaching. And what I learned is you're almost stopped. Like, it's very slow that you want to be approaching. That's kind of the hard part. That and the fact that it is all one fluid motion. You will feel that fluid motion. So if you find that when you are approaching that you continuously get thrown forward, you're going too fast. If you find that the board keeps stalling, you're going too slow. So it's this really particular place in the speed at which you want to find it. Everybody says confidence, and I'm going to change that a little bit. Instead of confidence, I'm going to say just imagine you're going over any other type of obstacle and see the board actually going forward, because there is no pop or hop or anything like that when you're actually riding. It more just feels like you hit something and then the board lifts and you just keep keep going. So let the board come to you. And after every single thing that you do, every one that you fail on, actually think about what you did wrong. Like I said, most of mine was I just kept going forward and falling. I found that flow was a really good shaping profile to keep for initially starting. I started with the GT, but once I was able to get it on the GT, I went ahead and swapped over to my Pint S, and I was able to get it with the Pint S as well, which tells me I didn't, trick it or anything. I learned the actual fluid motion of the board. So flow was a really good shaping profile. I did start with the GT and then swapped over to the Pint and then the XL. If you only have one board, you're only you have to use whatever board it is that you have available. But I actually hear that it's better to start with something like the Pint. I started personally with my GT and then moved to the Pint and was able to do it just fine. Which brings me to finding the right curb. I have a curb right outside of my townhome, and I just felt that that was perfect. It's like just high enough so that if I am going straight into it, the board's going to hit it. But that's probably like the perfect size on something to practice, because then just even the slightest bit of slowdown brings that nose up and kind of gets you over. So just these are just some of the video that I have of me failing at it. I hope whoever is watching this that you keep practicing, because it does take a long time and eventually you'll get it. Just keep thinking about what it is that you're doing wrong. Do not jump. You will understand de-weighting naturally when it comes to that point. So good luck, everyone, and I hope to see you out there on a ride.